do this in 5 steps to learn the muscle up. Trust me guys, it doesn't work that way. Hi guys, it's Kaloy, and today we're back with another new video. And this video is something I really was excited to share with you guys, since muscle up is one of my frustrations ever since I was a teenager. I watched these countless fitness influencers, calisthenic athletes do muscle up, and it's something that I'd always wanted to be able to do. But at some point in my life, during my teenager years, up until now, I decided maybe it wasn't for me, since I wasn't able to do it all along. After countless attempts, after watching many how to do muscle up in 5 minutes, do this in 5 steps to learn the muscle up. Trust me guys, it doesn't work that way. There is no shortcut in fitness, in calisthenics, in technique in general. You must learn it strength first or technique first. It must be evenly balanced. I will be sharing to you guys my journey in learning the muscle ups. I'll be training until I can do 5 consecutive muscle ups in a row, and I hope you learn something from this video. So here is my first few attempts of muscle up without any training, only following the tips and tricks of how to do muscle up in 5 minutes from YouTube. And then I tried to do some explosive high pull-ups to gauge my strength and to see my level with regards to the requirements of doing a muscle up, since from the tutorials it was said to at least have a high pull-up strength of reaching the hips to the bar. Then after resting for a day, at day 3, you probably can see that I was always looking at my hands, especially on my left palm, because my wound was starting to tear up right from the very beginning of the first muscle attempt on day 3. In day 3 of the first trial back in January, I wasn't able to train from November and December in 2020, since I became sick, some sort of dengue-like sickness, and I had a fever. So for 2 months I stopped working out at all. No pull-ups, no push-ups, no anything. And starting January 2021, my New Year's resolution was to finally learn the muscle up, since I thought I was fully equipped with strength and foundation to do it. So when the gym started to reopen, I trained every other day for 3 days straight, and I was like mad crazy training for muscle up that I've been doing pull-ups and pull-ups. I was like a monkey trying to climb, trying to grip every bar that I see. So my palms started to tear up. I wasn't able to grip the bar properly anymore with my palms tearing up. So I decided to switch my grip from the regular grip of palms over the bar to a finger grip. I don't know if that's called a finger grip, but what I did was just to hook my fingers on the bar and do all the usual pull-ups that I was doing to train for muscle up. That's where I also stopped attempting to do the muscle up, since attempting to do the muscle up will guarantee that I will be doing a transition and my palms will again tear up if I try to do it again. While I was doing my muscle up attempts with the bands assisted muscle up, the coach in my gym was actually observing me and tried to give me some tips with regards to going over the bar or the transition specifically for muscle up. During the quote-unquote second trial of my attempts doing the muscle up, I watched a lot of videos from YouTube during my time skip, and I noticed that instead of trying to do the muscle up continuously, you should train with bands at the start to be able to practice a technique. After day 3, I was able to do at least 1 to 3 band assisted muscle up, and I was figuring out why I was having a hard time even though I was able to at least do 1, and with 2 additional bands of the black and violet bands, which is pretty heavy in terms of support. So I knew in myself that I wasn't lacking in strength because I was able to do this once, but I was still having a hard time. So upon watching these videos of progression, not how to do a muscle up, but the progressions one, I found myself a clip where we should train for the transition of the muscle up, since it is one of the movements that is barely involved in any kind of exercise. I think aside from the Russian dips, so it's one of the few workouts that is, or that can be translated to the transition of muscle up. So I started to warm up and train the transition by jumping from the floor over the bar, just to be familiar with the movement itself and to strengthen my wrist, my flexibility with the transition, since it's one of the crucial parts of muscle up, because muscle up is just 2 simple movements of high pull up and then the straight bar dip. However, the transition is the most important one because you wouldn't be able to do it unless you transition from the pull ups to the dip part. So after being able to do at least 1 keeping muscle up, so it's keeping muscle up, I know it's not straight, it's not the best form yet. I was wondering why I wasn't able to do at least 2 consecutive keeping muscle up. After reviewing the footage, I noticed that after 1 muscle up and going down the bar, trying to do it again, I straightened my elbow, but also I was relaxing my scapula and my lats. So for me, someone who is still trying to learn the muscle up, it's pretty hard for me to generate an explosive force or strength from a dead hang position to be able to go over the bar. So instead of doing that, I decided to not relax my back and my scapula, but rather just engage it all throughout the muscle up, but still straightening my elbow to make sure I was doing the full range of motion. In day 5, after doing 5 consecutive muscle ups, you probably saw that I wasn't that too excited after doing 5 consecutive muscle ups, since while doing it I know that I was keeping a lot, generating the force from keeping instead of purely from the back. And I tried to do it again with less keeping, but I was able to do only 2 consecutive muscle ups, not because I was tired or fatigued, but rather my palms started to tear up again, so I can't do any additional muscle up without tearing my palms again. So I stopped right there and decided that the 5 consecutive muscle ups with a lot of keeping is probably a win in my books already, since my initial goal was to just learn the muscle up. So in summary, or rather, these are the prerequisites for me before trying to learn the muscle up. So you should be able to at least do 10 high pull-ups consecutively and 10 straight bar dips consecutively. For the tips, here are the tips that I learned from my mistakes, and also I learned from the help of other people who is watching me do the muscle up. So the first tip is, instead of pulling purely vertically while in a dead hang position, you should pull yourself up in a C motion. So imagine if you are in a dead hang position. At first, in my day 1 of the first trial of learning the muscle up, I was pulling the bar from here to here. That's why even though I was pulling it explosively as I can't go over the bar, because every time I pull explosive, the bar is hitting my chest area. So instead of doing that, you should pull yourself up in a C motion. So instead of pulling purely vertically, you should pull yourself up in a C motion. The second one is to, actually it's like tip number 2 is included in tip number 1, but it's other separate tip because you must do it both. The second tip is to do the double pull. So a double pull is when you are cleared in the C motion. Sometimes, or me personally, I was always pretty far away from the bar when I do a C motion pull. So always consciously remember that after pulling yourself up high, pull yourself near the bar so you can go over the bar. The next one is to have a firm and relaxed grip. This is kinda counterintuitive because firm and relaxed, like, what do you mean? Firm in terms of should firmly grip the bar, but also relax, just evenly balanced, because if with the transition, this is purely for transition, should pull yourself up and there's this slight, or rather short amount of time that you will feel that you are just stuck on the air, and then you should grip yourself enough firmly that you can transition from here to here, then push yourself up. But if you firm too much, or rather, but if you grip too much at the start, immediately you will be able to put your wrist over the bar. Trust me, I made this mistake a lot, where you can see my attempts of doing the pull-ups like just put sound effects in the I was always hitting the bar on my chest, because you will be able to observe that I was firmly gripping it, and then when I was pulling high up, even though in a C motion, I was hitting the bar because my wrist is still not over the bar because it was not relaxed. And if your grip is too relaxed, you will be able to push yourself up on the top. So you should just have the balanced, firm and relaxed grip, perfectly balanced, like all things should be. Practice transition. I said it before in the previous minutes of the video, but you should always practice transition, since, like I said, it's not commonly applied in other exercises, so just practice it. And for the next tip is to engage your lats. I explained it a while ago earlier, just to be able to do consecutive muscle ups more easily. And then the next one is push away from the bar when going down on the muscle up. So it's the same concept, the first tip of the pulling yourself up in a C motion, but this time, instead of just letting yourself go down vertically when you're on top of the bar, you should push yourself away. So imagine this is you, the bar, push yourself away so you can go in a C motion and then go back for another explosive pull-ups and do the next muscle up. The next one is the straightening your leg. So this is only for the people who are doing the keeping muscle up, since we are using a force from by tucking our knees towards our chest so we can generate the needed extra force to get ourselves over the bar. After keeping yourself, when you're already over the bar, straighten your legs so your center of mass will be moved forward over the bar. Because if you just keep on keeping your legs up, even though you are already on the top, your mass will be outside of the bar, so you wouldn't be able to do the dipping part. I wasn't able to do the muscle up at all just from doing those attempts. So initially, I already had some pulling strength, foundation of pull-ups, since I did the 100 pull-ups in 30 days, every other day. So here's the link down here if you want to watch it. And I trained for 1 month. If you are curious with my 1 month workout during the time that I wasn't able to attempt the muscle up because of my wound, here is the following. First is the explosive pull-ups. Weighted pull-ups. Narrow grip pull-ups. And wide grip pull-ups. So don't think of me like someone who just rested for, I don't know, 1 month and suddenly gained the strength needed for muscle up after resting or letting the wound heal up. I'm not some kind of anime that had a time skip and just suddenly got stronger. No, I trained for a whole month or more than a month or so, I think. Just be consistent with doing the workouts. So this workouts that I did was in 4 sets each with 5 to 8 reps and 3 to 5 minutes rest between set. And just make sure to be as explosive as you can in each rep, since this is what we were training for muscle up. And again, that's my journey in learning the muscle up in 5 days plus the time skip. I know time skip, I'm an anime character, I got stronger in the time skip, but this time I showed you the time skip. Yeah, so I hope you guys learned something with this, probably especially for the beginners like me who wanted to learn the muscle up, since I know our frustration to learn the muscle up. For me, muscle ups like the holy grail of calisthenics, that if you manage to do one, like, yes, you're part of the calisthenic community, even though I'm not part yet, or like any part of what community whatsoever. It feels good to be able to do muscle up, even though I was only able to do 5 muscle ups consecutively and not in the best form, but at least I was able to unlock the skill, the feeling of playing an RPG game where you were able to unlock one skill and now you're just going to be leveling up and adding skill points to master the technique. That's the closest feeling that I can say to be able to convey it to you guys, what I'm feeling right now. So I'm just focusing on purely strengthening my explosive pull-ups, lessening the keeping, and yeah, so be consistent, do every foundational strength training needed, and just don't give up. I mean, if I can do it, then so can you, because I'm not gifted in genetics or anything. I'm just a regular guy, lazy guy, trying to learn these various moves in a less amount of time, because, well, being lazy has its perks. You need to, or you wanted to learn everything in a short amount of time. In my journey of learning the muscle up, I wanted to give up many times while learning it, trying it, struggling, grinding. However, I want to acknowledge these 2 YouTubers that actually is just average, just like us, wanted to try to learn muscle up, and then they finally did.
Their videos was pure transparency. So the struggle and the success are all there, and it's nice to see other people also struggling at the same time succeeding at the end.
Again, I hope I was able to inspire you and taught you some things, some tips, so you would not be repeating the same mistakes that I did. So I'm sharing it to you guys right now. Just keep on training, keep grinding, and thank you for watching.